music Saturday, which is exactly what you're doing anyhow.
Yeah, which is what I'm doing. So there we go. It's all right. It's a good way to go. Let's take care of a little business. If you're looking to fix your car up this summer because things go wrong with your car, call Regal Automotive, Regal Recycling. You can reach them at 734-663-0976, 734-663-0976. Regal Auto Parts are located in Whitmore Lake, Michigan, and they've got all kinds of good parts, and sometimes used parts are the way to go. Don't spend all that money and get, do what you got to do.
It's easy to bolt a trunk lid on your trunk if something happened to it. Often you can get the same color and you get a color match, and you've saved yourself hundreds of dollars.
Yep, exactly. Well, let's take before we go any farther, I don't want to get in trouble. Next Saturday, 12 to 2 at the Yankee Air Museum, Patrick Colbeck for Governor.com is going to be having his kickoff, right? And we're going to be down there.
Big campaign announcement.
Yeah, and so either Ed or I will maybe be down there. Maybe we'll all be down there. I don't know.
We're working it out.
We're working it out. So you might get a chance to actually see Gary in person and Ed in person.
Oh, well, thank you.
I
live in Gary's shadow.
One of us is better looking than the other, and I'm not saying who, mind you. But
Sherry, call in quick.
One of us is certainly younger than the other. There's no debate about that.
True. Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to say, let's get off of the Clinton conspiracy thing and get away from that, and we'll talk about the Democratic conspiracy thing, which is Russian collusion. They're beating this horse to death. I mean, it's become Jell-O at this point, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like they can't nail anything on Trump, so they go after everybody. It started with Flynn. They tried to push it on Jared Kushner. Now the latest one is they're trying to push it on Donald Trump Jr., right?
Yeah.
There's
it's
nothing
all
there.
Smoke and mirrors. It's distraction.
Yes, allegation, innuendo, whatever. Death by 1,000 cuts. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to obstruct justice in itself.
Yes. But there's something else going on there. If somebody were to come to you, if you knew somebody and they said to you, so and so's a liar. Oh, and so everybody lies. Everybody lies, or everybody's a thief. What do you think about that person? You kind of wonder about whether that person is actually perhaps a liar, perhaps a thief themselves, because they're projecting.
Projecting, that's the word.
Projecting onto that other person or those other people what they themselves are like.
Yes.
And it's occurred to me that that's what the Democrats are doing. Because, there's this thing that happened, and we were talking about it in the 80s, when Ted Kennedy was running against Ronald Reagan. And he when the Iron Curtain fell and KGB files were released, they found a memo that showed that Kennedy had actually approached Andropov, who was the premier, and he approached him through a friend of his, Tunney, I believe his name was, and he said, "Look, we'll be good for you, we'll help you, we'll do," and he listed things he would do as president if the Russians would help him manipulate things so that he looked good against Reagan.
Right.
And so that's what collusion looks like.
Right.
That's exactly what collusion is. And yet they got away with that. And 12 years before that, Richard Nixon had a group called the Plumbers that broke into an office, the DNC headquarters in the Watergate, looking for collusion. 12 years earlier. That's what Watergate was about. A lot of people just remember the break-in, but the reason was they highly suspected that the Democrats were colluding with the Russians. They were just 12 years too early.
Yeah.
So if the Democrats have this history of colluding with the Russians, now they're trying to project it off on the Republicans.
Right. Let's take a call from Gary in Hazel Park. Gary, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, I'm going to audible. I'm not going to talk about the graveyard, which I called for. I'm going to go on to this, the Democrats and their projection. They're very good at it. They've been doing it for so long because we have case after case, such as Black Lives Matter. I mean, all they did is keep talking the lie for as long as they needed to rile people up. We got separation of church and state, which even goes much further back, which is all a bogus lie. But they perpetuate it so that they can do their evil deeds, quite literally. And then there's 5 or 6 others. They just continue to pervert the system and use it to their advantage, and the Republicans just sit on their hands and let them do it or help them with their schemes. Meanwhile, the government gets bigger and the people get poor, not physically, but poor meaning there are rights, and our responsibilities get siphoned away by the big government, and we all suffer for it.
Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, great points, Gary. Great points, as always, man. Love having your calls.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Well, so the one thing I want to get out here is the fact that there has not been anything illegal done, folks. No. You can make all the innuendos you want, but we've got a track here, and it's a long one. It's Catherine Herridge, who's probably one of the best on Fox News, right? She's been at it for years. She's a very, very professional woman when it comes to – she's one of the true reporters, true journalists, right? Who is this Russian attorney? And it comes to find out that she's probably more colluding or in touch with the Democrats than she was with Donald Trump Jr. Derek, you got track 2 ready. Let's go ahead and listen to Catherine Herridge and how she explains who this Russian attorney is.
And new details about how she, you see her on the left, got into the country in the first place. Was she here without a visa? What's going on with that? Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge now joins us live from Washington. Catherine?
Well, thank you, Harris. These court records confirm that the Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, who's at the center of the Donald Trump Jr. emails, was granted a special immigration status under the last administration, and this was a fact first reported by the Hill newspaper. Parole is a discretionary authority that allows for the temporary entry of individuals into this country on a case-by-case basis for either urgent humanitarian reasons or for significant public benefit. In this case, it would have been her defense of a Russian firm in New York State. Democrats emphasized to Fox Today they believe this issue of the visa is overblown. 5 days after the Trump Tower meeting in June of last year with Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, and then campaign chairman Paul Manafort, the Russian attorney came to Capitol Hill where she could be seen at a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing on Russia. So it does seem that she came into this country for one reason, but then pursued other interests, Harris.
So why would Congress be interested in this?
Well, next week, Senate Judiciary Committee, led by the Republican Chairman Chuck Grassley and the Ranking Member Dianne Feinstein, they're holding a hearing Wednesday on the Foreign Agents Registration Act, known as FARA, and that's lobbying on behalf of a foreign government with officials inside this country. And one of the witnesses had direct contact with the Russian lawyer, and as part of her campaign to get some American legislation repealed, he said she hired a firm with connections. Now, this is a really interesting turn of events with that unverified anti-Trump dossier.
Okay.
They took on a number of lobbyists, public relations people, and others. And one of the firms that they took on as part of this campaign to have Magnitsky Act repealed was a firm in Washington, D.C. called Fusion GPS.
Fusion GPS is directly tied to the dossier and this former British intelligence officer, Christopher Steele. A lot of the time we talk about it in our reporting as the Steele dossier. And Fusion GPS, which has resisted calls to go to Capitol Hill, will be testifying as well next week. So it's an interesting set of connections. What that means exactly at this point is not clear.
Well, that's the same dossier. I mean, basically the fake dossier.
Yeah. Okay. So that's how ugly it gets, right? GPS Fusion, highly tied to the Democrats.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're just playing a game. Their projection is exactly the psychological term that the Democrats are using.
Well, you know, it also when Gary was calling in, they're the same thing with racism. Democrats are the party of racism. Joe from Wyandotte mentioned a movie, Free State of Jones. Well, Sherry and I finished watching that last night. It was very good, a great movie. There's a point where the point is made that all of these people who are opposed to the Confederacy, in the heart of the Confederacy, march into a town to vote Republican. Very clear. The Republicans were the party of anti-slavery. It's nice to see that in a movie.
Finally,
yes. And, you know, and yet Democrats are the ones who accuse the Republican Party or conservatives, let's just say conservatives, of racism. It's projection.
Exactly. All right, well, let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the new star for the Republicans in my book, and that's Dr. Sebastian Gorka. We'll see him on the other side.
Yeah.
Your advertising dollar needs to go a long way, and it does with Wham Talk 1600. You can't find a more affordable economic bang for your buck. The Yellow Pages, that's covered with dust lost in a closet someplace. Cable television, nobody watches cable TV during the day. They may watch 3 hours at night at best. Music radio is background noise. Same tired tunes over and over again. Nobody's listening. That's not the case with Wham Talk 1600. You can't turn off Wham Talk 1600 radio. It's fresh and interesting day or night. People are listening. Around the clock, people listen. You're listening right now. So are your potential customers, and we cover all of southeastern Michigan with talk radio and information people pay attention to. This is talk and information radio people are talking about. Your business needs to be heard on Michigan's most exciting talk radio station. Your business needs to be advertising on Wham Talk 1600. Call 734-971-1600 today. That's 734-971-1600 for our super affordable rates and super advertising results. Start advertising today on Wham Talk 1600.
Working with Imber Wealth Advisors is more personal. We're a family business. We like our clients to be treated like family.
Straight financial talk from John Imber of Imber Wealth Advisors in Ann Arbor.
If you're approaching retirement and you're getting a little bit nervous or you don't feel like you have a plan in place, one of the best reasons to come see us is to get another set of eyes on what you've been doing, allowing you to find out if you're on the right track, or if there are some things that could be tweaked, we'll bring them to your attention. We also hold ourselves to a fiduciary standard, which means that we put our clients' needs before anything else. We work together to guide our clients through a proven process to develop a financial strategy that will help you achieve what's most important to you with the resources you have, giving you the confidence you deserve and helping alleviate your financial uncertainty.
Whether retirement's years away or coming up fast, gain confidence by setting up your no-obligation consultation with Imber Wealth Advisors now. Call 734-769-1719 or go to www.imberwealth.com. That's IMBER wealth.com.
And welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to Catch Our Drift. And let's take care of a little business, shall we?
Okay.
J&M Landscaping. If you got a tree in your backyard that needs to come down, their tree division is the best. I've used them myself, and they're very good. They clean up after themselves, and you'll never even know that tree was there. They're that good. 248-640-7029. If you go to currentonline.com, or if you can get a hard copy of The Current, COURANT online.com, you can see they have a 20% off first-time customer coupon in The Current. So check it out. And you can also reach them at J&M landscapingmi.com or 248-640-7029. Tell Jason you heard it here or saw it in The Current, and he'll give you a good deal. He's a really good guy. Okay. Well, I got through that.
It's a big coupon. It's yellow. You can't miss it.
You
Red
can't
letters.
miss it. It's huge. It's in The Current. Like all our ads in The Current are huge.
Sorry.
If you're not advertising with The Current, you should be.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to talk about Dr. Sebastian Gorka, who is like the rising star for the Trump administration and for conservatives in general. You just got to love this guy.
Brilliant, man. It's just
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. It's just amazing. He went on CNN. I think he hit
been on all over the place,
he went on BBC. He's out there, and he's standing up and fighting back in typical Trump fashion, which is absolutely fantastic. That and the fact that he's just one of the smartest guys around.
I like his accent. I mean,
I can't figure that out. Is he
Hungarian?
He's Hungarian.
Yes.
Okay, so was he born in Hungary?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, and then became a U.S. citizen later on?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, we're going to play him and Anderson Cooper. We're going to start with this. We're going to try and get a bunch in before the end of the show here. Derek, you got track 3. It's Anderson Cooper talking, and he puts Anderson in his place. Who doesn't? But go ahead and play that.
The president has had 4 days now without an event on his public schedule. You've heard the reporting that there's a bunker mode in parts of the White House since the news of Donald Trump Jr. broke. I want you to be able to comment on that.
Oh, absolutely. It's laughable. Your Chiron talked about a crisis. Your reporter talked about a bunker mentality. I actually work in the West Wing. I work in the White House. It is absolutely nothing of the kind. We are pushing the Make America Great Again agenda. The president is a steam locomotive that will not be stopped. It's just fake news. I'm sad to see CNN fall to this. I know you want